much about it. It's important that we understand, the background of the why for of what God has to say. He tells us to pay attention and to listen. He tells us here in the book of Revelations, its destruction is coming. Okay. Out of the 10 horns, he said, the little horn arose. He sets up the kingdom. I give him the power. I got it. In the last day, in the time where we just read, it said that the words of God might be fulfilled. So as was reading what God has stated, the fulfillment of what God has said is going to be, won't be changed. Doesn't matter what my idea is on it. Unless my idea lines up with God and what God has said, then my idea is right. Okay? And then I'm following the right line and pathway. But until I do, it doesn't work that way. I wanted us to look at what God was stating. So when God had Hosea marry Gomer, we read over there why Gomer had such a hard time. Even with God's divine intervention in her life, with all of that opportunity, with God giving Hosea a supernatural love for her, why it still wasn't enough. I hope you're listening to what I'm saying. To extract Gomer out of when I looked at it and I was reading until I began to understand what God was saying, it looked like it should have been more than enough. Because he gave her
chances.
Time and time and time and time again. But when we look at our life with God, he gives us
Grace upon grace.
mercy upon mercy, grace upon grace. Okay? And so, as we're studying, the importance of it is to remember, okay, the why fors. Remember the mercies of God, Remember the importance. Then when we look around and when we go to pray, and we're praying for someone that's caught in this category, you need to realize that your prayer needs to be to the maximum. Because you're praying for an issue that God said
hard to get out of. Very likely they won't.
Hard to get out of. Very hard. They can, and they sometimes do. Okay?
All things are possible.
Yes, that's what it says. It says the exact words. But when we're praying, we gotta know, okay, and be praying in a manner. That's why when we was talking about Moses and him praying for the children of Israel, he had to be really serious.
Yeah.
He had to say, God, kill me before you kill them, if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You see.
One.
So,
Because we have that one in.
God's despise is immense. Is there any other questions or thoughts this evening? I know we opened this evening something sometimes people struggle with, wanting to open because of the invasion sometimes you feel of privacy.
2 days.
But in reality, God isn't invading your privacy. He's actually stating to you how he set it up in the beginning, okay? How he set it up to be and what God wants it to be and what God doesn't want to be. And why God looks at it from the perspective in which he does. Is there any prayer requests this evening as we're going to close?
I have one from Angie. She called and said that Marjorie Jones's father was in an automobile accident and is in ICU in the hospital, and she doesn't know if they're saved or anything about it, but she wants prayer for them, family, and
Okay. Thank you.
And Fred, he's